Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. This is for entertainment purposes only, so if you're entertained, please like and subscribe. Really appreciate that. Today, we are going over how I did in November, and I'm just warning you, it was terrible. But first, I'd like to tell you about what went well and how I'm going to change it moving forward. So, in my margarine account, I did make some bad financial decisions. Wow, your name doesn't lie, Amy. But what I like right now is the fact that my margin buffer is so large. I have a 46.91% margin buffer. I think that having around a 50% margin buffer for someone living off of their distributions is more reasonable than what I've been doing, which is more like 25% margin buffer. So that's good. And I finally got to the spot where I have around 30% of my portfolio in gold, around 30% of my portfolio in broad market ETFs, basically the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. And then the other percentages are 20% at least in the inverses and Bitcoin. So I was doing some options. I was selling puts on Misty. I got assigned, and this is going to go into the Sailor Mooning account. So basically, I'm getting out of doing options on strategy in my margin account. Basically, any type of options I'm doing on strategy going forward is going into the Sailor Mooning account. Right now, for these side accounts that are cash, half of the money that I make is going back into the margarine account. I would really love to keep the Sailor Mooning above $2,000, and I've started to do a little bit of the inverse. So this should be something where it's 20% of this cash account should be in winter at all times, just to catch any of the downside, just so this doesn't free fall. And then leverage trash, I've been pretty consistent with. I'm working on getting my WPay to 20 shares, and it was actually pretty convenient because we did have that pullback. So I think I have had some, I'm getting a good price point, entry point into WPay. So I'm pretty happy about that. And it got to the point this month where I didn't need to be in 30% leverage strategy. Well, I didn't need 30%. I didn't need 30% of my portfolio be in 30%. Let's say this correctly. 30% of my portfolio didn't need to be in leveraged NVIDIA and Palantir. So I sold all that, and originally I was in SPY leaps, and I was doing well with that for a couple weeks, and then I did really bad judgment calls. I lost a lot of money, and so I sold my leaps, and now I'm just in XDTE, SDTY, YSPY, SPY-I, and QLDY. And I've had this opinion forever, but this just reaffirms it that if the market does some crazy thing, a fund can change their positions and correct their positions, and they have millions of dollars to work with, so they can absorb it. The price of the ETF goes down a little bit, but because this is the SPY, this is the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, I'm pretty comfortable with knowing that even if there's a temporary price drop, that the S&P 500 will eventually recover. The NASDAQ 100 will eventually recover. So they have more money to absorb than I do. For me, the $2,000 loss I had this month is devastating. So what happened with that, I think I've explained it a little bit before, but I was doing put spreads on SPX, which is like a leveraged S&P 500, the market was going up, and I closed my SPY for a loss. And I was like, well, I guess the market's going up today. I'm going to sell a put. And then the market just went way down. And I lost, $2,000 doing that. And that was enough for me. There is no making things up in the market, but I'd actually like to show you here. I'm pretty happy with the fact that 70% of my portfolio in my margin account is now equities and 30% is margin. We've seen this in the past where it's like 50% margin, 50% equity. So it does look like my account balance went down more dramatically than it did. It was just I have less out in margin. And so I'm not going to give up on doing the options wheel. I am going to try to get more income through that because it's harder to lose money in the options wheel. But for the most part, I am paying down my margin. I have made adjustments to my goals and my expectations of my portfolio. And so basically, like, it started out well, like, oh yeah, $2,700. That's really doable. And then week 2, I had less, but like that's still fine. And then week 3, I lost $2,000. And like I was just trying to, get just a few more extra dollars with my options, and then it just went terribly wrong. And I can't make it up, but what I'm doing is I'm still taking the $1,000 a week from my retirement account and withdrawing it and putting it into my margin account to slowly build up the portfolio so that I can pay off the personal loan and I can pay off my trailer. So, like, ahead of schedule. So instead of having the goal of I'm going to have an extra $3,000 or $750 a week to pay off the credit card slowly, in May of next year, when it's time, I will just use my margin as a margin loan to pay off the 0% credit card. And we'll just solely do that and make it so that the margin loans that I'm taking don't overwhelm like the buffer that I have in my account. So this last week I made $1,700. That is enough for me to cover my regular expenses. Another bit of good news is that I didn't actually spend $6,000 this month. I spent like $5,500 because I came in under my budget that I do for myself. So that's helpful. I'm making other changes in my personal life of, giving my dogs cheaper treats just so that I'm spending less money. So changes are happening. I'm trying the best that I can, but a part of that is also I am working on adding the subscription to YieldMight, and this is on local. I'm almost done. What I need to do now is make sure that the affiliate program is actually working, because what I want to do is, if you click, we have buy me a coffee. If you're not signed in, buy me a coffee. You can buy me a sandwich. And if you have bought me a coffee before, I will make coupon codes, and I found where all your emails are. So I will be emailing people that have supported me in the past with a very generous coupon code. But if you go to the subscription, and you can choose the standard or the deluxe version. The standard, the goal is for it to be basically $1 a month. The deluxe version, after this initial launch, we will get these features that it's promising out, and just add more features that I don't want you to have to subscribe to YieldMite in order to use it, like the basic functionality. But I do want to add features that make it enticing to go deluxe and get the extra features. And when you click on it, you can add the promotion code. So hopefully the other high income financial influencers want to promote YieldMight. And if you use their promo code, then they'll get a portion of what you're paying. And that way I'm benefiting, they're benefiting, everybody's benefiting. You benefit from having the extra features. So we're all doing well. And then we can sign in. And when you're signed in, there's a settings where you can change your password and you can upgrade what you have, and you can also cancel your subscription right there. So I finally got that working over Thanksgiving, and I'm still going to have my shop, which I should go through and make this a little bit prettier, but you can also get something physical to support me in making YieldMite more sustainable for everybody. And then you can basically go back to the pricing page and look and see. And I think when you're logged in, I'm going to add an education section about what to look for, like how to use YieldMite. I think that's something big that's been missing from YieldMite, is how can I use this like a pro? Education materials and how to look things and how to construct a portfolio. So yes, the conclusion is I do in fact need to spend more time programming and launching these features on YieldMite. I was just so anxious about my portfolio that mentally I was blocked from doing it, which is an excuse, not even a particularly good excuse, but this is the path forward. My unemployment benefits are ending this week, so I'm on my own and I'm going to embrace the future. I'm using my portfolio that I have right now to give me runway in order to get YieldMite and YieldCalci and all of my other projects that I have in my mind out the door. So look forward to this, and we are just going to continue to have my portfolio be something saner with the 30% in the SP 500, 30% in gold, 20% in inverses, and the rest of it in Bitcoin related things. So I'm curious to see how this is going to work in December. I'm really excited about this YieldMite subscription launch, and I would really love to also thank the members. Thank you so much, M. Curry, for becoming a part of the team. I'm so glad to be making bad financial decisions together with you. Thank you so much, Joey, Brian, Shane, Next Up For Ye, Russell O'Mahony, Leroy, Scott, Michael, Bill, Patriot Spalding, BGP Automotive, In My Opinion, Jetta, and Omega Werewolf X, for all of you helping me doing this YouTube channel and YieldMite, making it more sustainable and letting me do this full time. So I really appreciate all of you, and let me know how you all did in November. Hopefully you did better than I did, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.